In Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, on March 10, 1957, a child named Osama bin Laden was born into a wealthy and influential family. His father, Mohammed bin Laden, was a successful construction magnate, and Osama was one of more than 50 children in the bin Laden family. Growing up in a privileged environment, Osama received an education in Islamic studies and business administration. As a young man, he was exposed to radical Islamist ideologies that emerged in the Middle East during the 1970s and 1980s. The Soviet-Afghan War, which took place from 1979 to 1989, played a pivotal role in shaping his worldview. Inspired by the Afghan Mujahideen's resistance to the Soviet invasion, Osama bin Laden traveled to Afghanistan in the 1980s to support their cause. He formed close ties with various Islamist militant groups and, during this time, established Al-Qaeda, which means the base in Arabic. The organization's primary goal was to unite disparate Islamist groups and fight against perceived Western influence in Muslim-majority countries. As the Soviet-Afghan War came to an end, Osama bin Laden's focus shifted to a more global agenda. He vehemently opposed the presence of American military forces in Saudi Arabia following the Gulf War of 1990–1991. This event marked the beginning of his anti-Western sentiment, and he started advocating for attacks on American targets. On August 7, 1998, Al-Qaeda gained global infamy when they orchestrated simultaneous bombings of the United States embassies in Nairobi, Kenya, and Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. These attacks resulted in hundreds of casualties and marked the beginning of Al-Qaeda's open conflict with the United States. The most infamous event associated with Osama bin Laden's name occurred on September 11, 2001. On that fateful day, 19 hijackers affiliated with Al-Qaeda carried out coordinated attacks on the World Trade Center in New York City and the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. Nearly 3,000 people lost their lives in the deadliest terrorist attack in history. The 9/11 attacks prompted the United States to launch a global war on terror, with the primary objective of dismantling Al-Qaeda and capturing or eliminating its leaders. Osama bin Laden became the most wanted man in the world, and a massive international manhunt was initiated to find him. For years, bin Laden managed to evade capture, moving from one hiding place to another in the rugged mountains along the Afghanistan-Pakistan border. The U.S. intelligence agencies were relentless in their pursuit, and finally, on May 2, 2011, nearly a decade after the 9/11 attacks, their efforts paid off. A covert U.S. military operation, codenamed Operation Neptune Spear, was launched in Abbottabad, Pakistan, where intelligence suggested Osama bin Laden was hiding. On that day, U.S. Navy SEALs raided the compound, killing bin Laden and retrieving valuable intelligence. The death of Osama bin Laden was a significant blow to Al-Qaeda, and while the organization continued to exist, its influence and operational capabilities were substantially weakened. Despite his death, bin Laden's ideology and legacy continued to inspire extremist groups worldwide. And so the tale of Osama bin Laden, a man who went from being a child of privilege to becoming the face of terrorism, came to a dramatic and consequential end. His actions had a profound impact on global politics, security, and the lives of countless individuals, leaving behind a complex and controversial legacy.